Reverend Jewel Williams, and you can also call me Princess Jewel. And you may say, well, how are you a princess? And I just want to remind you, 1 Peter 2:9, but you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praise of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Well, I'm just coming today to kind of give a testimony about what happened at HUGG's this weekend. See, I've got my HUGG's t-shirt on, and I have my crown on. And the reason I have my crown on is because the reminder at the time away was that we are princesses. We are daughters of the Most High King. And I just think that's so important. Even one of the funny things that I did was I went to sleep that night with my crown on over the top of my bonnet. And my sister that shared the room with me, she said, well, you have your crown on. You're going to sleep with your crown. And I said yes, because I have to be prepared in case my king desires to have me meet with him in his court. And though it was just, kind of gesturing, I was serious in my mind. It was a reminder. I went to sleep with it on too. It was a reminder for me who I am. I am precious in the sight of our God. And therefore, I must act like a royal, if you will. I have to think like a royal. I have to act like a royal. And I have to live like a royal. How does a royalty live? They understand who they are. They understand what they have, and they understand whose it belongs to. And that's what I meant about I have to act like a royal. And so I just wanted to share for you just a little bit about how the HUGG's weekend was for me. And I need to kind of give you the backstory, so I hope you will just listen, and I hope it blesses you as I share my testimony. For about the last 6 months, the Lord has just really been talking to me about, growing me up in some areas and moving me to this next phase of life that he has for me. And towards the end of the year, there was 2 situations where they were difficult for me to deal with, because I had to deal with the letting go of some relationships, some friendships. And at the time, it's our normal response to say, oh God, it's just the devil. But I said, Lord, what is it about? What is it? You're trying to teach me something. And the Lord began to tell me that, one, he brings us those relationships where we're cherished and not just tolerated. And he brings us good friendships and relationships that will help us to be built up so that we can be all that God has called us to be. He brings us those sisters that know how to love us, encourage us, don't become jealous or resentful of what God is doing in our lives. And so that was what he was trying to show me. He said, he was telling me, I need to cut off these old things because I'm taking you to a new place. And so I began to really embrace that and embrace the thought that, I'm free to be who God has called me to be. I'm free. I'm free to do what he's called me to do. And I remember thinking, boy, I need a hug. I needed one of my sisters to hug me. And that's when Reverend Donna Hall placed on Facebook the information about the HUGG's HUGG, Helping You Grow Girl, retreat information. And so immediately I saw it and said, okay, Lord, that's kind of funny, but I believe you're speaking to me specifically. So I need to go with an expectation of receiving something. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be like a regular, convention that we go to, where it's preaching and some worship, but it was not like that at all. It really pressed me, and maybe many of those that came, it pressed us out of our comfort zone, what we were used to, what we were expecting. And I just remember on that Saturday morning, we didn't even have preaching. We had sisters sharing their testimony, which were encouraging. But after the first testimony by Nina, the Lord, we went into a time of just worship. And in that time of worship, Reverend Hall began to talk about the woman with the issue of blood. And I remember as I was standing there, pressing in and just talking to the Lord, he spoke to my spirit and said, you can't touch my hem standing up. And so I got on my knees and I just began to pour myself out to the Lord. And it was in that instant that he did something for me. He birthed something new in me. And I know it's to take me to this next phase of life that he has for me. Thank you, Lord. But one of the things he told me, and he told me to share with my sisters that were there, is that God birthed in us some things over the weekend. But he wants us to determine how we'll treat that birth. Will we treat that birth like a live birth? Or will we treat that birth like a stillborn? And what I mean by this, if it's a stillborn, you discard it. But if it's a live birth, you feed your baby, you're excited about your baby, you do everything that it needs, you feed it, you get excited about it. You don't think negative. So even when you have to change your baby diaper and it don't smell so well, you're not disgusted by it. You're just so excited about your baby that you're doing everything that needs. And as that baby grows, then you go, okay, I need to do something different because what I did before doesn't work, so I have to change it. And that's really what God did over the weekend for those that received. God birthed something in you, but he wants you to treat it with excitement. He don't want you to let it go to the side. Whatever he did for you over the weekend, he wants you to now walk in it, be excited about it, let it grow, do everything that you need to do so that what he's doing inside of you will grow. And I'm excited. I mean, we had a chance to have fun. We worshiped, we had fun. I challenged, Sister Michelle challenged me to a juice box contest, and I want you to know I was the champion. So, next year I found out it's going to be at the same place, and that's exciting, so that we can, and it's going to be around the same weekend. I think it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th of January, and the information is already available to that. It was in Naperville, and it was wonderful. The place, the location, everything was just so perfect. And so, we get to come back. So Sister Michelle gets to challenge me again. We do the challenge off on the juice box contest. But, it was just fun. We had fun. And for me, one of the greatest things was on that Sunday, we had communion and foot washing. And what an honor to just be a part of foot washing. If you've never done foot washing, you have to do it. It's such a humbling experience. And God placed it on my spirit to wash the feet of a young lady, Lindsay, 24-year-old, beautiful. I mean, I just fell in love with her at the moment I saw her. And all I did was ask her, could I wash her feet? And I just began to weep, because I believe the Lord told me, he said, just like you had need of older women to come and help you, go and be willing to be at her feet to help her and encourage her to keep growing. And that so touched me. That so touched me. And so I just really wanted to share this little testimony with you, and so that if you didn't make it to the HUGGs in 2013, put it on your calendar for January 24th, 25th, and 26th to be at the HUGGs 2013. I'm sorry, 2013. If you didn't make it to the 2013, put it on your calendars for the 2014, that you will be there so that you can receive what God has for you. And I just pray and thank God for Donna's vision. And, I pray for her that God will continue to show her how to help the women. And I love the help you grow, girl, really. And that's what it's about, helping us grow in who God has called us to be, but also growing in the sisterhood of knowing that we have other sisters that love us and that we can love and that we can be the right kind of friends with. So I just hope this encourages whoever watches it, that they have to be there. Don't let any excuses. Just press in, and make it to the next HUGGs in 2014. It's been a blessing. Thank you for listening. God bless, and bye-bye from Princess Jewel.